Welcome everyone. Welcome to
Hi
another
Manoj,
podcast of
Himanshu, tell
StopNot
me,
Club.
what's up?
Today we have the guest Sanidhya Chaturvedi sir, the founder and CEO. To have you as mentor and the guest of our podcast. So, sir, we'll start with your journey, how you started, how you went into engineering, then IIT Madras, and then starting this wonderful company.
Okay, fine, thank you. Thank you for having me here and welcome to all. So, myself Sanidhya, as Himanshu rightly introduced. So, as everyone knows, there's nothing new to tell about the journey, how we come up and fall in engineering because maths is what, in general, everyone it's pushed forward to take in their class 11th and 12th. So that the same thing happened with me, but yeah, I was really inclined towards this. So that's how I pulled up in engineering. And yes, so once we jump into the engineering, we have different verticals within domain to dig forward for electrical, CS, civil, mechanical. There's core and sectoral branches. So then comes the next step, how we take forward as choosing the branch which we want. So generally, what happens when we do counseling, and that's an issue I think in the coming areas in the coming days also, that people generally don't prefer the branches, they prefer the college, the institutions. So I think that should not be done. You should have an inclination, you should have a clarity regarding what area you want to pursue, because I was very interested in physics, so I've always wanted to go for electrical engineering. However, I got computer science and all, so that's why I pushed forward. And instead of getting lower branches in some NITs, I after my JE, I went for electrical engineering and I joined MITS 2018. I joined as BTech in electrical engineering, and yes, it was a wonderful journey and a wonderful ride as to what was coming ahead, because we didn't knew after 2 years we'll have COVID-19 affecting, and 2 years we'll be going in our home doing online lectures and all. So the first 2 years was really exciting, because in the first year, as in all the institutes, we study about all the different branches and different courses which are available, and finally we dig into clubs and all the co-curricular part. So one very interesting thing which I had during my journey there in my BTech, that was the Rashtriya Club. So we are the founding members of the Rashtriya Club, and we set up that club. I hope you are all aware of that. That's the Nukkad Natak club of the college. And the very initial thing which I had in my mind while joining was that all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy, and that's what happens always. So we have to make sure that always while doing studying and everything, we need to have some activities, some hobbies, some co-curricular stuff which always keeps us engaged in the thing which you want to pursue. So this is what the initial journey was as I joined my BTech. Then always there is an inclination that what after that. So after BTech we have couple of paths. It may be going for placement, it may be going for higher studies, and then it's preparing for some government exams and all. So the path which I chose, because as I told you initially also, I was very interested in the physics part and electrical engineering. So I pursued to go forward with the GATE examination, and that is how I started preparing. So in my third year, I started preparing for GATE examination. Since, as I told, it was COVID-19, we were all packed in our home. Very critical scenario in our whole country. So that's when I gave a thought of this and started preparing for that. And yes, after 1 year, everything went well good, and I did my self study only. I took a couple of test series, so all the materials, everything is available already. Just need to uh, brush things up and go forward in a proper format, a proper way to approach any exam, be it JEE, GATE, UPSC, any exam in the country. So that's why I moved forward, and then I gave many examinations. I got All India rank 11 in GATE examination. I got All India rank 1 in UPSC JEE examination. Then I cracked different PSUs. I got all the top IITs. Then I joined obviously the best IIT in our country, that is IIT Madras, for MTech in BSI. And yes, that is how the journey has been. The transformation after giving GATE examination, coming here. Then while being here in IIT Madras, I also gave CAT examination. I got 99.4 in that. I got IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, and Calcutta. that also I break through. But I didn't join because a new phase was coming along with me. That was my startup, which I started building here itself, and now that is, as Himanshu told initially, Folium Sensing Private Limited. So that's how the journey has been, and yeah, let's talk more about that. So hopefully, I gave a short, brief journey about myself, Himanshu.
So that's actually very wonderful and great, I would say, because in 1 year you got your company to reach 100 crores of milestone and then funding's coming up. That's a huge milestone. First of all, congratulations for that. And next, I would like to ask that I've seen like a lot of tech companies coming up from IIT Madras. Like you have seen Aether coming up, or there are some drone tech companies or people coming working on VR. So what are they providing there, which is like very great or nurturing this young talent and entrepreneurs there?
Okay, so very interesting question. So this company works on the concept of optical fiber sensing. So when I took my first course in my BTech, when I was in my second year there in Gwalior, so I did an NPTEL course that was Intro to Photonics. Then I got introduced to the depth and to the possibilities of optical fiber sensing. Because see, sensors are of two types. There's firstly called as point sensors. Then we have something called as distributed sensors. So the beauty of optical fiber is that optical fibers can are mainly used for communication purposes. So all across the country we have optical fibers laid, either at railways track, pipelines, structures, everywhere it's only laid because it was made mandatory to lay because of the communication purposes. But nobody knew that this optical fibers can be used for sensing also. So this technology was being developed since 25 years in IIT Madras, the only IIT to work on this. So I got in touch with the professors, and that's how I started working on this to take this technology to the different applications, real world application which we have. So that's why I got connected to him, and I published a couple of research papers. I have few patents as well in my name, and that's how I took this journey forward. So when I joined IIT Madras for my MTech, the first initial thing I met the professor, and then we discussed, had the brief meeting like how can we take this forward from a lab thing to the market scaling, because already so many projects were going on. We had huge traction, as I told you. We are the only IIT and the only company basically to do this technology in India. And because of Make in India push by Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji and all the ministers, the push technologies in India are getting, that is the best point I thought to get started. That is how we incorporated. So yes, we are a 1 year old company now. We formed in 2024 August. Our current valuation is 100 crores. So we are a 100 crore company, and we are working with GAIL, Tata Steel, ISRO, DRDO, Army, Adani, and SCRC. So huge clients traction we have. We are working with IOCL as well. So this is the huge traction and the huge, you can say, application which optical fiber sensing brings into the part. So this was the major motivation, as I told you, which I haven't told you maybe because I'm also placed in one of the top companies in the world, that is Nvidia. So I'm already placed in that, but parallelly having this startup, I have some time to decide on that, to accept the offer. The offer is still on hold, but this startup and this idea, this brainstorming idea which we have and which we are working on is doing some groundbreaking application, saving life of our country, and uh, definitely we are pushing forward to make India at the top level as our vision of Prime Minister we have for Viksit Bharat 2047. So yeah, this is about the startup, the journey, and how it has been, and yeah, it's going really good. Looking forward to convert into unicorn in a couple of years. Yeah.
Is it required for students to be part of IIT Madras or that college?
Absolutely. Very good question. And this question is what most of the people ask me. See, the thing which we have something called as academia and we have something called as industry. There has to be a bridge between all of these. So we have the first and the biggest research park in Asia, that is IIT Madras Research Park. So the point is the technology is being developed in lab with the help of government it is being transmuted and transported to the industry, and that is happening in the research park. So my friends are in IT Bombay and Delhi also. Similar culture is happening there, but the thing which they lack, because Bombay and Delhi also have huge startups coming out of the ecosystem, but currently the number of startups in the ecosystem growing in Chennai, in Madras, is all because of IT Madras. And now similarly, Bombay and Delhi and IT Hyderabad also, they are planning to develop their own research park. So coming back to your question, the main gist of all of this is research park, because students being exposed to this kind of environment very early is what is the basic gist of what we call as. Because even if any student is having very normal initial ideas, so in IT Madras we have a student club that is called as a CFI, Center for Excellence. And then Center for Excellence, student works, BTech, MTech student, they work. Then this idea goes to industry, that is the research part, and there we have different incubators. So we have incubators like IIT Madras Incubation Cell, in which we are a part of, and as you say, Aether, Uni4, all of these unicorns, they are also a part of that. And we have some other incubators like IITM Pravartak. So we are also incubated in Pravartak also. So what these incubators do, firstly, industry academia bridge. Secondly is the initial traction they provide you with the help of different stakeholders coming at a place, and they expose you to different industries, so that the basically, in one word I like to say, is the best place to fall. For example, if anybody has an idea, being in a different institute, you may think twice or thrice before going forward with that. But being in institutes like IIT Madras, there is no point of failing. You fail and you fail back very safely, because you have that backup thing always with you. You have that ecosystem is there. So that is what our director, Professor V. Kamogoti, always said, that we should be trained here, and we should always focus on becoming employers, not becoming an employee. So that is what every student here, either BTech or MTech, the vision which our director put forwards for all of us, and the support which the students get here is enormous. And I think this a bridge from industry academia to the research park is the basic mantra why IIT Madras is coming number one institution since 10 years, and in all the categories, innovation or engineering or sustainability or entrepreneurship, the only reason is this ecosystem which is there between industry and academia. Yeah.
They had like supporting a lot of startups and helping them grow. And I had an idea about like AR glasses. Right now we have all the smart glasses coming up from different companies, but similar to those glasses, including the AR technology, and for that we have that. So let's talk about your company now, about the Folium Sensor Private Limited. You started it 1 year ago, and I think you are the co-founder. There are some other co-founders as well. So how did you find out? Like, how did you find another founders? Because it's a very tough process, or it's like very difficult to find. Otherwise, if we find a co-founder, it can ruin all the partnership and company. So that is why.
Okay, very good question. So, to be a part of incubation cell, if you are you're a student of IIT Madras, okay, so then it becomes quite easy for you, because at a point some professors are involved in that in every startup. So there is an easy way to go forward for. But even if you are not part of IIT Madras ecosystem, then also you can be a part of this incubation system. But there is a very thought driven process, and there is a different hierarchy which you have to pass through. So based on your ideas and whatever applications you have, there is a committee which judges your ideas and all. And after a very rigorous round of scrutiny, you may be eligible to be a part of incubation system, because there are many startups and many people who are a part of incubation system. Because as I speak, incubation cell in India is the largest incubation system in our country, with 500 startups being a part of that, and that is huge, because no other IITs, no other institute is able to come even closer to that. So yes, even if you're not a part, there is a rigorous process based on your scrutiny of ideas, TRL level. In technology, we have something called as TRL level. So we have the two types of startup. Startup may be something called as a service-based startup. Then we have something called as a product-based startup. Service-based startups are like Zomato, Swiggy, all of these. Okay. We have something called as product-based startup like Microsoft, Google, something like what we provide, Folium Sensing. So in product-based startup, we use a term called TRL. That is called as technology readiness level. You can Google that. You can read about that. So TRL level means how much is your technology ready to go to market. So there are level from TRL level 1 to 9, which also depends upon how much, because in ideation stage you may be in TRL level 1 2, but as soon as you grow, you do some testing, you have a prototype developed, then you have a product, then you have a market, then you have a BMC. BMC is called as a business model canvas. That also you can search in Google and you can have more information about this. So all of these become a part when you want to become an incubator here, because TRL11, all of these things, the level of your ideation and the technology which you are bringing in is also defines the role of your selection. And yes, definitely all are welcome to be a part of the ecosystem. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That was actually very nice. And from that point, I got a one important point that you talked about self-study you did.
Yeah.
And I think to get succeed in everything or whatever you do, you need to do it consistently every single time, every day, same thing. But in that,
Yeah.
discipline and self-discipline and dedication is something majorly discipline is which we lack in. So, what do you work on? How do you work on getting yourself disciplined and how you do that?
True. Okay. So, as I told you initially, also how I got through the ideas. So, basically, we have four co-founders in our company, and me being one of the directors, and the other co-founder is Mr. Venkatesh. He's a 2007 alumni from IIT Madras, electrical engineering only. He worked in different companies in India, abroad, and now he came back for the startup. So we got connected him through a professor. I told you Professor Balaji Srinivasan, who is a professor in electrical department here, who is my faculty advisor also. So he was a former student. He was also the student of Balaji sir, Mr. Venkatesh. I'm talking about. So he came across. He worked on his ideas and all. Then he came back, and we also brainstormed in all of these things. That are we ready to take this thing to the market? Is there really a requirement for this? And how critical and how painful the points are, how painful the problem is, which we can really take this thing to the market and scale it up. And that is how we had this interaction, and we tried to get together, collaborated. That's how Venkatesh came to the picture. As I told, Professor Balaji has been the brain in this, 25 years of research. And we have another professor, Professor Krishnan Balasubramaniam. He's from mechanical department. So both of these professors were already working a lot of these, or had a lot of traction, and they have been at very great positions in IIT Madras also. So them being apart, then we both coming into the picture, we had a perfect combination, as you can say. So that's how we pitched it forward, we took it forward, and yes, that is how now we are there for you. So we are working, we have different products, we have acoustic sensor, temperature sensor, and strain sensor that are being used for wide spread applications. So the technology is huge, hugely required in all the industries. The application is humongous. You can check out the website also. So this is how the 1 year journey has been, and it is really exciting. And I push forward everyone that if you have an idea, just try to at least put something forward and try to at least give it a try, give it a shot. If it fails, then it's fine, but at least give it a shot, because this is the best time to build in our country. India has been never like this. The kind of opportunities you have, startup India ecosystem. If you check the website, there is something called as Bhaskar ID which you can register. Student ideas are being funded up to 10, 15 lakhs, which people are not even aware of. So the kind of awareness people need and the kind of risk-taking capability the youngsters should have is what India needs to become a developed country and to beat all other countries in terms of economy, growth, prosperity, peace, everything. So that is what his journey has been 1 year. Yeah, Himanshu. Carry forward.
Yep. So we don't have much time as you are busy like after some time. So we'll keep this up with the final question. That is, what is the culture and the fun life of IIT Madras over there? We have seen a lot of countless videos about events happening, salsa nights happening, fun nights, and so how people enjoy and everything over there.
See, as I told you, it is a very different world. So here, if I talk about IITM only, the 650 acres of campus with deers, blackbirds, and I invite all of you to come here and spend some days here and understand the culture, how it's being. So this is a very different world. Out of all of these things, the government support, the support of different ministries, minister, and the kind of academic culture which we have here is enormous. And uh, just like a company or any institution, the only thing which is important is the ecosystem. When if even if we are with friends, so whatever you are, if I talk about you, Himanshi, Charu, Shreya, or Nishant, you fall, all of you four are here. What you are currently is also because of the kind of friends you have around with you. It's a very critical aspect. We generally neglect that, but it's already happening. We are being shaped by the kind of friends we have. So always have friends who are visionary. See, always friends are meant for enjoyment and all. Don't always think about work, work, work. There has to be an enjoyment part, but there has to be in a limit. So the ecosystem is very important. This is what makes this campus different. As I told you, cultural, sports, and all. And I'll tell you very important thing. See, it's a one-day exam. IIT, JEE, mains, and advanced is just a one-day exam. It doesn't define who you are. Where you are right now is just basis because one day you were not able to do get in that examination. Some people who were good in that day, who cleared JEE, are into the IITs, and who did very well are into the top IITs. So it's not anyone's blame. Okay, just a part and parcel of the life. Now, how worth it is to get in here is because the culture, as I told you again, people here are equipped in such a way. The alumni stuff is another thing. But after the classes and academics, they're able to do sports, cultures, tech. Since, as you are aware, we have inter-IT sports, inter-IT tech, inter-IT cultural. So people start preparing 6 or 7 months before that, and then we have different clubs. So the POR culture in IIT Madras, we use a term called POR, that is called position of responsibility. So we have different clubs here in which people, they literally take care the use of the stuffs which they are providing with. And one more thing where IIT's people are fortunate enough is the funding part, because the funding is enormous, government is supporting enormously, and since IIT Madras is one of the top 5 institute of eminence also, as identified by government of India, so we get 1,000 crores of extra money for students only. So money is one part, but apart from that, as I told you, the ecosystem, because like-minded students are here, they vibe together, they eat together, they stay together, and the culture is very different. So just like here, I think in all the other institutes, we should maintain like that. All the directors, in fact, I was with R.K. Pandit sir and Manjuri Pandit ma'am when I came to give the talk there. So we were discussing about the culture, how to take this forward in other institutes also. So it is very important to create clubs, to be a part of the club, to take the other version of yourself. So there is one Himanshu who is a studious part. There is one Himanshu who knows to do, who is very good in playing guitar, who dances very well, who is very good in coding. But you may not know that if you don't try n number of things. Always keep on trying n number of things. Always keep on engaging all different activities, and always remember that there is no end to a life. The past is gone. The past was always a mystery. What you have done, what you have did, it is gone. The present day is what you have in your mind, and the work which you do today, the present, is what going to create your future. That is a mystery for all of us. We don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, and that is what's the most exciting part of our life. We should always stay connected to our gurus, our teachers, always respect friends and families, and we should always be humble. And that is what all of us, that is what the humanity is, and that is what all of us should look forward for. And yes, nothing else. Chill, enjoy, work with your full dedication, and don't take a lot of stress. Life is too short to take stress. Enjoy and do whatever you want. Keep on smiling always. I think Shreya is not smiling. You should smile.